Hello friends, it's after midnight, pretty late, and it's Saturday night, so it's a pretty damn late beer review, and I'm probably not going to upload this to tomorrow. But I need a beer. It's been hellish writing and working all day. So today we'll be reviewing Altbier. This one is brewed in collaboration with Victory Brewing Company, which I know exactly nothing about. This take on a German Altbier is anchored by a layered, slightly sweet malt body supported by a citrusy hop flavor and aroma. Brewers are notorious for refusing to take the easy path. Altbier is a tribute to the stubborn spirit that drove us to dodge the status quo and build breweries of our own. Together we chase a siren song of beer with this revamped take on an antique beer style. So this is 6.6 ABV, which is mildly strong. I've never had an alt beer before. Alt stands for old, which means that this beer was lagered for quite a time. Despite it being lagered, it is actually a top fermenting beer, so technically it's an ale, but it should have more lager-like notes. In other words, this is a hybrid style, and you all know how I like hybrid styles. So let's go and open this up and give it a shot, shall we? Interesting. It gets ahead in the lager style, so it's kind of not very dense. It's more fizzy rather than foamy. Interestingly, it's a very, very dark red, somewhat translucent, almost, I'd say a little bit lighter than soda colored. If anything, it's rather reminiscent of Dr. Pepper, perhaps. The color, that is. Interesting malty nose. Unfortunately, the head's dissipating so quickly I'm having trouble getting some smell out of it. Malt is definitely predominating there. Kind of a doughy malt, I would say. Almost like a hint of sourdough. Underneath that is sort of floral West Coast hops. And there's a bit of fruitiness in there. Almost like Doppelbock kind of hints. Hints of chocolate. And there's definitely fruitiness in there. Slight stewed fruitiness. Actually, kind of smells like Raisinets almost, to tell the truth. Raisinets baked in dough with some hops, maybe. Let's give this a drink. Me likey. Very malt forward. Pretty light hop finish. It doesn't taste like a European hop finish. It's definitely a West Coast style hop finish. You can tell by a very much lingering bitterness. Middle palate almost tastes like brown bread. front is interesting. There's quite a bit going on in the front there. Let's see if I can suss it out. So there's a very slight sweetness in the front and in the back that sort of bookends that strong middle brown bread note. Front, there's this brief flash of fruitiness. It's kind of hard to go and place it. Just a really brief, sweet fruitiness. Considering the mouthfeel, and this is pretty carbonated, you can feel the carbonation. You know, it's almost like just a brief hit of, say, a high-end soda or something like that in front, before you're hit by the sort of grain aspect of the malts and then the hops. After the brown bread, when the sweetness kind of returns, there's just a little bit of chocolatiness. And it's more like a hint of chocolate. Actually, wait. Yeah. Because of the hop bitterness, just like this briefest smidgen of chocolatiness before the long hop finish. A lot of people said they didn't get much hops. I'm kind of getting quite a bit of hops on it. I'm kind of wondering what this tastes without the West Coast hopping. The West Coast hopping kind of clashes with it. You almost expect more of a European style finish to this. There are definitely almost like cola or root beer notes to this. Underneath that main sort of bready, doughy malt forwardness. I'm not digging the West Coast hop finish. It almost feels like it would be a lot better with just a nice, crisp, clean finish, rather than this sort of lingering bitterness. This is pretty heavily hopped for the style, 50 IBUs. Because the malts are kind of on the dark side, hence the brown bread, you know, it doesn't really balance off with that sort of bitter hopping finish. And as much as I love the front end of it, like many, and this is yet another beer from the beer camp, where I'm going to have to say this, but it's like I'm loving the front end, I'm loving the middle note, I'm not liking the finish. The finish is just too much hops. Or hops that I feel are kind of clashing with the rest of it. Yeah, I'm really not liking this hop finish. It's kind of lingering, and it's, you know, it's just like bitterness. There's no dimension to the bitterness. So, Altbier. My first Altbier. Makes me really curious as to try others of the style. And, you know, I'm not digging it. And this is yet another beer from Beer Camp where it's like, what's with the over-hopping? You know, by all means, not bad. Still an interesting drink. Just not wowed. So folks, that's your beer review for tonight. Cheers.